Excellence,
Your Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, heads of states, governments, and delegations. Excellencies, the First Ladies, Excellencies, heads of international and regional organizations, distinguished guests, dear brothers and sisters, Rwandans, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a powerful moment with 1,001 intense emotions, deep questions, and feelings of admirations each time we set foot on this country that emerged from its ashes. The genocide against Tutsis that we commemorate for the 30th time today means all of that to me. 30 years ago, horror struck Rwanda. Murderous forces fueled by ethnic ideologies spread hatred, a speech of hatred among the population of this beautiful country, known for its mild climate and the greenery on its hills. And as a result, within 3 months, more than 1 million Tutsis were decimated during unbelievably horrible conditions, inhumane conditions. And after that horrible catastrophe, tragedy, we are still questioning, asking questions, asking ourselves even about the absurdity and the craziness that our humanity has manifested. How and why? For what purpose? What thirst do you quench by exterminating others? What will be able to say or do today? First, to accomplish our duty to remember. There has to be remembrance. You have to remember so you don't forget. You have to also remember to understand the depth of these wounds inflicted on this nation. And you need to remember to measure the bestiality manifested by men that led them to destroy human dignity with intra-family crimes and other crimes committed in broad daylight, and sometimes in religious sites, and where roles were reversed. People became accomplices to unacceptable, horrible acts that were generalized. One has to remember to appreciate and measure the pride that Rwanda feels today since that horrible day. And those horrors that seemed to have irreversibly annihilated Rwanda, the country has risen up with people being equal and all structured around a same goal to develop collectively. Let's revisit the journey that you have walked. I'm talking about reconciliation of hearts and spirits and consciences. And these This was done thanks to judicial resources and mechanisms and approaches based on African wisdom. It was enlightened by political will characterized by determination to attain the goal as you allowed Rwanda to rebound, to bounce back, and move towards the future. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President Paul Kagame, within an African environment and an international environment full of conflicts based on tribalism, racism, religious divide, cultural, economic, or even civilizational, Rwanda, very humbly, offers a model which resonates positively beyond the borders of Africa and goes into a universalist typology. You should be proud of that, dear brothers and sisters of Rwanda. This is also clarified and exemplified by methodical reconstruction of a social order within the reconciliation setting. So how not to honor the genius of the Rwandan people that has been able, under exemplary leadership at all levels, to transcend all those fragilities of a human being. And lastly, as I analyze this, we need to remember to renew our oath for never again. Never again. This is also an oath to be faithful and to be empathetic and to be in solidarity in terms of links among the humanity of all people. The African Union and all the nations that have been impacted by this horrible tragedy against Tutsis did not, like other international actors, did not find appropriate responses. This is a historical reminder, and we've been reminded of that even a few moments ago. Nobody, I say nobody, not even the African Union, cannot deny its inaction vis-à-vis a preventable genocide. Let's be courageous to acknowledge that and to admit that as well. It's not too high a price if you look at the victims and their descendants. Africa rejects the criminal genocide ideology, which is often falsely justified, promoting hatred, supremacy, and all forms of exclusion and denial of the other. So may I announce within this context to nominate, as we commemorate for the 30th time, nominate a special envoy for our multiform action against the genocide. And I name Mr. Adama Dieng, who worked for a long time in the ICTR in Arusha about the genocide against the Tutsis and worked elsewhere within the United Nations on similar problems. Your Excellencies, the 30th commemoration of the genocide against Tutsis resonates in our hearts and reminds us to surpass ourselves and transcend ourselves higher and higher, higher than the heights of the thousand hills that characterize this country, higher than this blossoming tree, higher in terms of human values of humanism, with inclusive prosperity and collective happiness and shared happiness. May the living remain faithful to this oath. May the dead who live in our conscience rest in peace, in eternal peace. I thank you for your attention.